When you vote, you think you are making the choice, but the truth is, by the time you step into that booth, powerful networks have already decided what choices you are allowed to make. Elections don't begin on election day, they begin years earlier. Inside secret networks of money, media, data, and influence that shape the battlefield long before you arrive. Elections are not driven by ideas. They are driven by money. Campaigns cost billions, and most of that money doesn't come from ordinary people. It comes from donors, lobbying groups, and super PACs. In the United States, for example, less than 1% of Americans provides over 70% of all campaign donations. That means a tiny elite finances the majority of all political competition. And money doesn't just buy ads. It buys influence. The speechwriters who craft messages, the pollsters who decide which words resonate, and the advisors that coach candidates on how to sell themselves. By the time you see a politician on stage, their positions have already been shaped to fit the interests of those who paid to put them there. Next come the media networks. They decide who gets the spotlight, who is ignored, and which stories dominate headlines. Did you know? In most countries, a handful of corporations own the majority of TV channels, newspapers, and online outlets. That means the same groups that sell you entertainment are also shaping your political choices. When a candidate gets constant coverage, they appear popular. When scandals vanish overnight, it's often because media networks tied to advertisers, donors, or political interests bury the story. Control the narrative and you control the outcome. Today, it goes deeper than TV. Campaigns buy data from brokers who track your online life, your shopping habits, your Google searches, even the way you scroll on social media. This data builds a psychological profile of you. Are you anxious, angry, hopeful? Campaigns then deliver micro-targeted ads designed to hit your exact emotions. In 2016, Cambridge Analytica famously used 50 million Facebook profiles to sway voters in both the US and the UK Brexit vote. And that was just a tip of the iceberg. Think about it. If your deepest fears and desires can be predicted and manipulated, are you really choosing, or you're being nudged? Even inside government, hidden network shapes elections, think tanks, intelligence-linked organizations, and long-standing political dynasties operate quietly behind the scenes. They filter which candidates are viable, who gets funding, who gets security clearances, who gets access to elite donors. This is why you often see the same families, the same advisors, the same circles of power returning again and again, no matter which party is in charge. The faces change, the networks stay. And here is the harsh truth. Most elections don't give you dozens of options. They give you 2 or 3, but those candidates have already been filtered, funded, polished, and presented by the same overlapping networks. So the question isn't who will win. The real question is who decides who is allowed to compete in the first place. By the time you vote, the menu has already been written. You are not choosing the restaurant, you are just picking from the limited options on the plate. And this isn't unique to America. Across the world, in Russia, networks of oligarchs and state media dominate the political stage. In many developing nations, foreign donors and international banks play a bigger role in shaping policy than citizens. In Europe, lobbyists in Brussels outnumber actual lawmakers. The names change, the languages change, but the networks, the system of influence, remains the same. So here is the reality. Elections are not just about you casting a ballot. They are the final act of a much longer play, one written by networks of money, data, media, and power. Democracy gives you the right to vote, but those networks decide what choices you are actually voting on. The real danger isn't losing the vote. It's believing the illusion that your vote decides the future. If elections are shaped before they even begin, then what does it mean to live in a democracy? And are we free citizens, or just players in the game where the ending was written before it started?